thank you for downloading this quick hit Lavante webisode. Today we're going to discuss a little bit about our very recent webinar about the future of accounts payable, where specifically myself and Bob Cohen of Bassware discussed the top 5 changes coming to the accounts payable industry. At that webinar we talked about some of the things that we thought were going to be changing in the not too distant landscape in the accounts payable industry, starting with supplier information. We also talked about Supplier Network, a very big topic that's getting a lot of buzz lately is AP automation. More attention on buyer and supplier collaboration. And a topic that probably gets the most buzz, which is this gold standard of finance and procurement working more closely together. And the reason why we brought this topic up, or we focused on these top 5 issues, is because we really saw a through line in all of the trade shows and events and the different chapter meetings that we had been attending for the last couple of years, where consultants and analysts and experts in the space were always talking about things related to these themes. Specifically, we see a through theme that really corresponded with all of these different items. When we talk about supplier information and network, that was the discussion about getting more access to better and more accurate information. Then AP automation was the opportunity to finally automate and that sort of gold standard to optimize when you could have that correct information in your system with access to it through a network. And then this great idea of once you get a couple of these right pieces in place, you can now have better partnerships. Buyers, or the buying entity, can have a better partnership with the supplier. And then ultimately within your organization, finance can have a better relationship with procurement. Or I should say, more to the point, can work more collaboratively with procurement. So we put these up, we talked about it. The webinar brought in about maybe 200, 250 folks. A lot of really good questions came from that. And I would encourage you to download the entire webinar and take a look. One thing I noticed is whenever you put up a top 5 list or a top 10 list, people are going to email you and call you and talk about what you left out or what we agree or what we don't agree with. What we saw from this was a lot of people sort of nodding their head in time, saying, yeah, we agree with this, we see some of the same trends. They may have poked holes in some points we made about any one of these 5 points, and they may have offered a 6th one. What I'd like to do is encourage all of you, take a look at the webinar, or maybe even respond to the list I have up here now, and contact me at tom.flynn@lavante.com and tell me what you think. What would you add to this list? What absolutely doesn't belong on this list? And maybe a little bit more detail about why something on this list is important to you. So anyway, I appreciate your time spending a couple of minutes with me, knowing about what we think is the top 5 changes coming to the accounts payable profession. And I hope you'll indeed go to the webinar, download that, and take a look at that, and tell me what your thoughts are.